Hui Ling is 34 years old. She works in operations at a financial company in Raffles Place. She has been in this role for 5 years. She is good at it, processing claims, preparing reports, managing workflows, flagging exceptions. 8 months ago, something changed. The volume of work on her desk started shrinking. Not because the company was doing less business, the company was doing more. The system was just doing her job faster than she could. Her manager has not said anything, but he stopped hiring in her team 6 months ago. And last week he told her, very carefully, very kindly, that she should think about where she wants to grow. She is not sure what that means. She is not sure she wants to know. Across town, Marcus is 45, senior AI engineer at a tech MNC in One North. His phone has 3 unread messages from headhunters, all this week. The last offer was 30% above his current salary. He did not call back. He does not need to. He knows there will be another one. Same city, same Tuesday morning. Completely different world. The gap between Hui Ling and Marcus is not 10 years of experience. It is not a different degree from a better university. It is one decision that one of them made and the other did not, about which direction to run when AI started moving. This is what that decision looks like. And more importantly, this is how you make it before it is too late. Here is the single most important thing to understand about AI and jobs in Singapore right now. AI is not taking jobs evenly. It is taking specific tasks, the predictable ones, the repetitive ones, the ones that follow a script. And when enough tasks disappear from a role, the role disappears with them. The Ministry of Manpower's data for 2025 shows what this looks like in practice. Singapore's information and communication sector, the most PMET-intensive industry in the country, the one that is supposed to be the safe bet, contracted in employment in 2025. For the first time in years. The sector that everyone said was the future was the first place the restructuring showed up in the data. PMET retrenchments across all sectors rose to 10.1 per 1,000 employees in 2025, above pre-recessionary norms. The overlap between higher retrenchments and higher PMET vacancies in the same sectors tells you exactly what is happening. Companies are releasing certain people and immediately hiring different ones. Not fewer people, different people. Manpower Group surveyed Singapore workers in 2026 and found that 58% fear automation will replace their role within 2 years. NTUC's own survey put the anxiety number at 30%. Millions of Singaporeans are looking at their desk and asking whether it will still exist in 2030. Here is what the data actually says about what happens next. Hui Ling's job description reads, Operations Executive. What that actually means is, she processes things. Documents, forms, approvals, escalations. She is very fast and very accurate. She has been praised for it. The problem is that AI systems process the same things faster, for less cost, with no sick days and no CPF contribution required from the employer. Money Hero, a Singapore financial platform, published their figures for December 2025. AI was handling 70% of their customer service queries. 47% were fully resolved without any human involvement at all. DBS, Singapore's largest bank, announced in February 2025 that it expects to cut approximately 4,000 temporary and contract roles over 3 years as AI takes over the functions those people performed. The bank simultaneously announced it will create 1,000 new AI-related positions. 4,000 out, 1,000 in. Different people for different tasks. By the end of 2025, DBS, OCBC, and UOB together had shed close to 3,000 roles, a 2.6% headcount reduction across Singapore's 3 largest financial institutions in a single year. The roles that left: back office processing, KYC verification, routine reporting, claims handling, data entry. The roles that arrived: AI governance, model risk management, prompt engineering, human AI workflow design. Hui Ling is in the first category. She does not know this yet, or she knows and she is hoping it is not true. The action here is uncomfortable, but it is urgent. Log into My Careers Future and search your exact job title. not your industry, your title. Look at how many vacancies exist compared to 3 years ago. Then look at what the new job descriptions in your field require compared to what yours required when you started. If the gap is growing, the runway is shrinking. The question is not whether your role will change, it is how much time you have to change first. Now here is where it starts to get more nuanced and more useful. Raj is 28, NUS, computing graduate, class of 2023, junior software developer at a tech SME in Bugis. He chose computing because everyone told him it was safe. He earns $4,500 a month, which felt like a good number when he graduated. Here is what has changed since he graduated. AI. Code generation tools now write 60 to 70% of the boilerplate code his seniors used to produce. His senior developers have become significantly more productive. The company's output has gone up. The company's headcount has not. They hired Raj's cohort 2 years ago. They have not hired anyone at his level since. Entry-level developer vacancies have not collapsed, but they have compressed. The ICT sector's share of total job postings has nearly halved over the past 12 years, even as total ICT employment grew, because each hire now produces more. Raj's specific trap is this. He assumed coding was the safe skill. What he missed is that coding was always a means, not an end. The companies that matter are not looking for people who can write Python. They are looking for people who can tell an AI agent what to build, verify what it built, catch what it got wrong, and explain the system to a business that does not understand it. His salary is $4,500. The median for an AI engineer in Singapore right now is between $7,800 and $10,000 a month. The difference between those two numbers is not just more years of experience. It is a specific set of skills that Raj does not yet have, but could. The action for Raj, and for anyone under 35 in a technical role, is specific. Skills Future and IMDA's Tech Skills Accelerator have structured pathways to move from software development into AI engineering, data science, and ML ops. The Skills Future Workforce Development Grant covers up to 70% of approved course fees for employers sponsoring the training, capped at $150,000 per enterprise. If your company will not sponsor it, the Skills Future Level Up program for workers aged 40 and above provides up to $3,000 per month in training allowance for full-time upskilling. Raj is 28. He does not qualify for that program yet, but he has something better. He has time. Every year he waits costs him real money in compounding salary differential. Priya is 41. Compliance manager at a mid-sized bank in Marina Bay. She earns $9,500 a month. In 2023, she was told her department was under review. The bank was implementing AI compliance tools. Several of her colleagues took voluntary separation packages and left. Priya did not. She spent the next 18 months doing something most people in her position did not. She learned how the AI compliance tools worked from the inside. She took 2 MAS FinTech certifications. She learned to read model outputs, identify false positives, explain AI-generated risk flags to regulators in language regulators understood. She became the person who knew both sides, the regulatory framework and the AI system sitting inside it. Her salary increased by 22% over those 18 months. Not from a promotion, from becoming what Singapore's National AI Strategy 2.0 calls AI bilingual, someone who combines deep domain expertise with genuine AI capability. This is the most important concept in Singapore's updated AI strategy released in May 2026. Not AI engineers who are also smart. Not smart professionals who dabble in AI. People who are deeply expert in their domain and also deeply capable with the AI tools that are reshaping that domain. The strategy document's language is direct. This is the workforce profile that Singapore cannot get enough of and cannot import fast enough. The salary data confirms it. In the technology sector, AI and machine learning skills command a 20 to 40% salary premium over the same role without those skills. In cybersecurity, it is 20 to 35%. In financial services, ESG and sustainability, 10 to 12%. These are not aspirational numbers from a consultant's deck. These are from Morgan McKinley's 2026 salary data, cross-referenced against Reracon's placement data from 140,000 validated offers. The action here is to identify what AI bilingual looks like in your specific domain. A compliance professional learning AI governance is Priya. An HR manager learning how to use AI workforce planning tools is the same category. A logistics supervisor who understands how AI routing systems make decisions and can catch when they make bad ones is the same category. The skills themselves vary by industry. The principle is identical. Now move to Marcus, 45 years old, senior AI engineer, One North, $14,000 a month, 3 unread headhunter messages. His profile is on every shortage occupation list the Ministry of Manpower publishes. AI and data roles qualify for the Compass C5 skills bonus when companies try to hire internationally, meaning Singapore employers get additional points toward employment pass approval if they bring in foreign talent for his type of role. Companies are so desperate for people with his profile that they are navigating immigration bureaucracy to find them from abroad. And yet the pipeline of local AI engineers is structurally short. Singapore's NAIS 2.0 has an explicit target: triple the number of AI professionals in Singapore from approximately 5,000 to 15,000. The government committed over 1 billion Singapore dollars to AI research and talent development from 2025 to 2030 through the National Research Foundation. The National AI Council, chaired by Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, was established in February 2026 specifically to coordinate this effort. The gap between supply and demand for people like Marcus is not closing, it is widening. Demand from banking, manufacturing, healthcare, and government is accelerating simultaneously. Supply from universities and conversion programs is growing, but not fast enough to match the pace. The average time to offer for senior AI engineering roles in Singapore is 6 to 10 weeks for local hires, meaning companies cannot fill these positions even when they move as fast as they can. This is what structural scarcity looks like in a labor market, and in Singapore in 2026, that scarcity has a price. AI and ML engineers earn between 90,000 and 170,000 Singapore dollars per year, according to Morgan McKinley's current salary data. An AI product manager earns between 144,000 and 180,000. Cloud architects, the people designing the infrastructure that AI systems run on, earn between $8,300 and $15,000 a month. These numbers exist because of one thing: there are not enough people who can do what these roles require, and the companies that need them cannot wait. There is a sector in this story that almost nobody talks about when they discuss AI and jobs, and it may be the most important one for Singapore's next decade: healthcare. Singapore became officially super-aged in 2026. More than 1 in 5 residents is now above 65. By 2030, it will be 1 in 4. The demand for healthcare workers, nurses, allied health professionals, care coordinators, social workers is structurally non-negotiable. It will not decline. It cannot be automated away. You cannot send a large language model to hold someone's hand in a hospital ward at 2 in the morning. Health and social services had the highest proportion of entry-level vacancies of any sector in 2025. 54.4% of all positions in the sector were entry-level openings, according to MOM. These are not jobs waiting to disappear. They are jobs that Singapore cannot fill fast enough. The salary ranges are lower than tech. Registered nurses start at around $3,500 to $5,000 a month, but they come with something the operations executive and the junior developer do not have right now: structural job security through 2030 and beyond. No AI system is replacing the judgment, the physical presence, and the human connection that care roles require, not in this decade. For anyone in their late 30s or 40s considering a career shift, the Skills Future Level Up program, which provides up to $3,000 per month in training allowance for workers aged 40 and above in full-time conversion programs, was designed precisely for this transition. Healthcare conversion pathways exist, they are government-funded, and they lead to roles that will exist in 2030 regardless of what GPT-7 can do. Here is the clearest way to think about what is actually happening. Every job in Singapore right now sits somewhere on a 2x2 grid that you will never see published, but that every hiring manager in the city is using to make decisions. One axis: how much of this job involves predictable, scriptable tasks? High means AI can do it. Low means AI cannot. Other X's. How much domain expertise does this person have that an AI system would struggle to replicate? High means the person is hard to replace. Low means they are not. Hui Ling is high predictability, moderate domain expertise. Her tasks are scriptable. Her knowledge of the specific company is real, but not transferable enough to protect her. That quadrant is shrinking. Raj is moderate predictability, moderate domain expertise, but in the wrong direction. His coding tasks are scriptable. His seniority is not high enough yet to sit above the automation line. That quadrant is under pressure. Priya moved herself. She used to be moderate predictability, deep domain expertise. She added AI capability. She is now in the quadrant that commands a 22% salary increase in 18 months. That quadrant is growing. Marcus was always in the quadrant that AI creates rather than eliminates. 3 unread messages from headhunters, all this week. The Ministry of Manpower's own framing from their parliamentary response in February 2026 was careful but precise. AI's impact on workers depends more on business activities and job roles than on firm size. This is not about whether you work for DBS or a startup. It is about what your role actually requires you to do every day, and whether what it requires you to do can be done faster, cheaper, and more consistently by a system that does not need CPF contributions. 6 months after that difficult conversation with her manager, Hui Ling made a decision. She did not quit. She did not panic. She enrolled in an IMDA-supported digital skills program through NTUC's AI Ready SG initiative, which launched in February 2026 and provides 50% subsidies on AI tools and structured learning pathways for union members. She started learning how to work with the automation systems that had been making her job smaller, not to compete with them, but to manage them, to catch their errors, to translate their outputs into decisions that a human being needed to make. 3 months in, her manager gave her a new responsibility: reviewing and quality assuring the AI-generated reports that her former colleagues used to produce manually. Her salary has not changed yet, but the conversation about where she wants to grow has changed completely. She is not safe. Nobody in 2026 is safe in the sense of guaranteed permanence. But she is moving. And in this market, moving in the right direction is the only protection that actually works. The World Economic Forum's 2025 Future of Jobs report projected that 92 million roles will be displaced globally by 2030, and 170 million new ones will emerge. Net gain of 78 million jobs. That headline gets used to say everything is fine. What it actually says is, the jobs that exist in 2030 are not the jobs that exist today, and the people who thrive are the ones who started moving toward the new ones before the old ones fully disappeared. The question is not whether AI will change your job. It already has. The question is which side of that change you are on, the side that is being automated or the side that is doing the automating. Hui Ling is learning which side she wants to be on. Raj has about 2 years before the decision becomes urgent. Priya made the call 18 months ago, and her payslip reflects it. Marcus is already there. You know which one of them is reading this sentence and thinking about their own desk. AI is not the end of well-paying jobs in Singapore. It is the end of well-paying jobs that do not require you to understand AI. The salary data is unambiguous. The government's $1 billion commitment is not a statement of concern. It is a signal about where the next decade's income is going to flow. The gap between the job that feels secure today and the job that is actually secure in 2030 is not talent. It is not a degree from a better university. It is one decision about which direction to run. Which direction are you running? If this video made you stop and think about your own answer, hit subscribe. The next one is going to be just as important.